Hi, we're back. We're at part two of this whole entire video because I had rudely got cut off by my boss. So anyways, if you guys are joining me, I already started a video previous to this about 5 minutes ago, so go to that video first and then you guys can see this. It's just a bunch of me rambling, basically. Just me being me. Okay, so we were talking about how, I've gotten a lot of, hi, thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming back, guys. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of questions about, the CPS thing. A lot of people have been sending me messages, and I'm really trying to read all of them. Like I said, this morning I woke up to 178 messages. And that, I'm talking about messages like, hey, how are you? Hi, what do you like to do? Do you like the color blue? I don't know. What do you like to drink? Do you want to go out sometime? I live in Maryland. And I'm like, no, I don't. I live in LA. I live in LA, people. I live in LA. Okay, so, which is really great, but I just can't answer all these, and I'm really trying really hard to get back to people. And then you have where people like hack your accounts, okay? And I don't want that to happen to me because that would really suck. Just right now, just to let you know, I'm stuck in LA traffic. I'm on my way to Long Beach to start another job. So that's what I'm doing today. So we're making a video. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of requests and questions about like CPS, about parents, like what they're doing, things about like they've gotten their kids taken away, because obviously that was my first video, getting my children taken away, which is really kind of crazy because I have been in the system as well. So I was just going to kind of go over that with you guys, and since we kind of tackled the first part of it about CPS in Nevada and CPS in California and how the difference between those two, and anybody that's going through the whole entire thing is it's really a horrible situation, and they actually put you in a point where I think Nevada's a little bit more lenient. Nevada gives you a little bit more opportunity to fuck up, basically. You know what I mean? They give you like, oh, slap you on the hand. Oh, slap you on the hand. Oh, you got a bad drug test. Slap you on the hand. Okay, California's not like that. California's like, hey, we're going to adopt your shit out. That's it. You know what I mean? You don't show up to one meeting. You miss one court date. We are adopting your kids out. Especially if they're under 5, they go to a fast track adoption, which is really terrible. And it's something that like, it's something that people don't realize, you know what I mean? You get your kids taken away in California and you think, oh, I'll just go ahead and get them back and, you know what I mean, not a big deal, or you're sad or this and that. But the fact is that if your child is under 5 years old, your kids get fast-tracked to be adopted out. I don't think anybody realizes that, you know what I mean? So my child was 5 years old, one of them, and they were going to fast-track my kid for adoption. So they were like, you miss one thing, you cannot reschedule. You are not allowed to. Nevada's a little bit different. Nevada's like, hey, you know what I mean? Oh, we're gonna swab your mouth to see if you're high. We're gonna do a drug test on you to see if you're high. You're gonna go to court. We might drug test you next time to see if you're high. But we did take your kids away because you are high. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid, okay? Then they make it completely horrible for you to get your kids back. So you have to jump through all these hoops. Now, I don't know about, Nevada's pretty lenient. Nevada's pretty lenient, you know what I mean? Like, you go to court, you get your kids back. They're like, oh, we're going to give you your kids back if you have a house and this and that, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a job and a house and you can pass the drug test, then we're giving your kids back. I don't care if you beat the shit out of them, right? So California's different. California's like, hey, we're going to do 10 random drug tests. We're going to do 10 consecutive drug tests. You're going to pass 10-week parenting program. You're going to do 1 year of therapy. You're going to, you know what I mean? You're going to do all this crazy shit for us. They even have you do this thing where you pick a bunch of people out, right? People that you trust, and you go to the DCFS. No, DCFS comes to you and they build this board, right? Of the things that you're going to do and the things that you're going to accomplish. You know what? I was really against that shit. Hands down, I looked at these fucking people like they were nuts. I was like, what in the fuck? You want to come to my house, you want to have tea with me, and you want to talk about how I'm going to get my kids back, even though you fuckers just took them away. Really? Okay, cool. So, and it's gotten a little bit more strenuous nowadays, where if CPS does take your kids away, and you know what's really shitty is if your friends are mad. Let's say your friend is mad at you, okay, and your friend's like, fuck her, I'm calling the cops on her, okay? They open a case against you. It's called an investigative case. Now, during that investigative case, if they find something that's wrong, I don't know, maybe your coffee table has too many corners on it or some shit, they're taking your kids. End of story. I don't know, they stopped by one day and you hadn't gone to the grocery store that day. Maybe you only have a quarter of a gallon of milk that's from, 5 fucking days ago. It's out of date. And you have like crumbs in your cereal box, but you do have peanut butter and jelly. They're taking your kids because you ain't got no food, okay? There's a reason they want to take your kids. They just want to take your kids. They get so many people on their caseload that it's like, if you get too many kids on your caseload, you keep those kids on your caseload. You keep them, not if you get rid of them. Okay, not if you reunite them with their family, but if you keep them on your caseload, you get bonuses. Wow, that's pretty fucked up. So they want to take your kids because you have no fucking cereal and you have no milk and you have fucking too many corners on your coffee table. It's pretty shitty. So I actually was part of the system, and it's funny because when I grew up, I always said that I never wanted to be anything like my mom. Never. I always said that shit. I was like, I am never going to be like her. I am never going to be like her because she fucking destroyed my life. You know what I mean? And I never understood why my mom destroyed my life. I never understood, that it wasn't intentionally. It wasn't like my mom's like, oh, I fucking hate my kids, I'm going to destroy her life, and I'm going to ruin everything. No. My mom had a fucking problem, okay? My mom had a drug problem. My mom had an alcohol problem. And she always did growing up. My mom always was like drinking and shit like that. But previous to having us, she was an alcoholic then too, from what my family says. But she got to the point where we came to Nevada and we were living with my grandparents. My real dad had left. My mom actually remarried to my stepdad, who actually shot himself in our living room when I was 5. So that was the guy that she was absolutely 100% in love with. And I don't know if you could imagine somebody taking their own life, not to mention taking their own life, but then taking the person that you love, who you just married, and you think you're going to spend the rest of your life with, this person, they take their own life in front of you. It happened. It happened to us. And of course there was drugs involved and things like that, and it was 1985, 86, something like that. And there was a lot of things that were involved then. But my mother, because she had a drinking problem, because she had a drug problem, she went crazy. And at this time, of course, I didn't know it. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that my mom, you know what I mean, that everything led up to this point my whole entire life. I just thought she was fucked up, and why couldn't she be sober? You know what I mean? And that was my understanding of it. I mean, probably for 25, 30 years of my life, I never understood my mom being fucking drunk all the time. But I guess when you have something that happens like that, it fucks with your head, you know what I mean? Your loved one just took their life in front of you and then talked to you for 20 minutes before they died. So yeah, my mom went crazy. My mom did a lot of drugs and drinking, and I mean, my mom's a lot like me, and if you guys know me personally, you know that I'm just a mother bear, you know what I mean? I don't think nobody's shit, and I've got that from my mom, and I always said, like, I never want to be like my mom. And every once in a while, I turn around and I'm like, damn, I'm just like my mom. You know what I mean? Fuck! Just like my mom. But what happened was my mom would always get us taken away. She was always doing some dumb shit, you know. She was always drunk as hell, driving from like one town to another, Reno to Phallon, and she'd be drunk as hell, and she'd have me and my brother in the truck, and she would be fucking wasted, almost hitting the guardrails and shit, and I would be scared of my life, and I would think to myself, like, if I just held on to my brother, because at that time you didn't know car seats and shit, if I just held on to him, you know what I mean, if we went through that guardrail, then he would be okay. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, at that time, CPS really wasn't too much involved. So, you know, my grandparents, they'd call CPS. She'd get to Phallon. She'd be drunk as hell. They get us out of the truck. They arrest my mom. You know what I mean? They throw us in fucking foster care for, you know, a week, 3 days, 10 days, some shit like that. And then my grandparents would come to Phallon. They'd pick us up. And it was always a fucking repeat of that shit my whole life. And, so, needless to say, on and on and on. I got a lot of stories in between there. A lot of really fucked up stories. But, needless to say, when I was 14, my mom, the one time that my mom was not wasted, okay, so she's not wasted, hi, my mom's not wasted, okay, and our pipe broke in our house, and we were living in this fucking rickety-ass trailer, because we were always fucking broke, because my mom was always drinking and drugging, and we were living in this rickety-ass fucking trailer, and, one of the pipes broke, and the landlord lived all the way across the town, so my mom, she had to get in her truck, and at that time, her driver's license was suspended. And so she gets in her truck, and she's not drunk, she drives across town, and they fucking pull over, because obviously they know my mom, this is fucking smallest town. My mom's been arrested so many goddamn times. They're like, they just are waiting outside of our house for my mom to leave, drunk, you know. So they pull her over, and she's like, I'm just going to get the landlord because the pipes in her house broke. And at this time, okay, the kitchen's flooding, okay, I have my little brother, I think I was like 12, 13, 14, 15, I was 13 or 14 at the time. So my brother was like, you know, I don't know, younger than me, 8 years old, younger, so, you know, what was that, 7 or 8. Anyways, so they arrest my mom, and here our fucking pipes are broken, and the house is flooding at this point, and I have my little brother, and I don't know what to do, because I'm young as shit, you know, and all of a sudden the cops come, the cops are like, oh, we took your mom to jail, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Sitting here with a fucking house, flooding trailer, because we lived in a fucking trailer, you know? So anyways, my mom goes to jail, my grandparents come and pick up my little brother, and that's the time that DCFS finally got involved, and they said, look, you can either A, become a ward of the state, or B, you can go to Reno with your grandparents. And let me tell you, I had went to Reno with my grandparents once before, and I got kicked out of school there for fighting, and you know what I mean, kids didn't like me, and you know, I was fucking hostile, and I wasn't nice, and they weren't nice to me, and I didn't want to go there. So I said, fuck it, put me in foster care. 14 years old, I wanted to finish high school, and so that's what I did, is I ended up going to foster care. So here's a really funny story. So my rival, let's talk about my rival growing up. My rival, Autumn, where the fuck she is. I don't know why she has not chimed in on any of my stories, which I'm really pissed about. So if anybody knows where Autumn is, you tell her that she needs to watch this damn story. Anyways, so Autumn was my rival, okay? She was a bitch to me my whole life. I'd be skating. She'd be like standing on the side of the skating rink with all her friends, being like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I'd be like skating around in the circles. You know what I mean? They'd be like, come over here, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. I hated her. She was a dick to me all the time. All the time. Growing up for fucking years, she was a dick to me. She was rude. She fucking would instigate shit. I got in a fight because of her. I hated her. She hated me. I hated her, okay? End of story. Fucking hated her. So, after like years of us being rivals and years of us hating each other, I get put in foster care, and lo and behold, I get put in a home that is like 3 blocks from her house. Like legit street blocks, not like LA street blocks, like legit, like I can walk there in 5 minutes, okay? And I get put in this foster home, and I have fucking nothing, okay? Because my mom, like I said, drank my life away. And I remember looking in my closet, and I had like 2 pairs of socks, a pair of underwear, fucking pair of overalls. I remember I had a pair of overalls, and I was hanging up my stuff because that shit that I posted about foster kids moving their shit in bags, that's true. You know what I mean? They give you a garbage bag. They bring a garbage bag with you, and they put your shit in whatever they can grab at that moment. You know what I mean? They grab whatever they can that is going to go to this foster house with you. They grab 1 bag. They grab 1 pair of shoes. They grab 1 shirt, 1 pair of pants. You know, whatever the fuck it is. You know, and you walk into a foster home with a fucking plastic bag full of shit that you don't even know what it is because some dumbass social worker picked out your shit, and you're pissed off because you left your favorite shirt. Let me tell you, I was pissed. But I really didn't have a lot of clothes at that time, so I remember looking in the closet, and the foster lady was like, oh, you can hang your clothes up and this and that. And I just remember looking in the closet being like, fuck, I have like 1 fucking shirt, 1 fucking pair of overalls, a pair of shoes that were fucking too small, and I didn't have shit. And they were like, oh, don't worry, we're gonna get you a clothing allowance. You'll have a clothing allowance every month of $22. Cool. What the fuck are you gonna do with 22 motherfucking dollars, dude? What are you gonna buy with that? That's what they give you. That's what the fucking state gives you. $22 a month for clothes for kids. Just like so don't call me on Messenger right now. Please. I'm not until I forgot because some dude just called me in the middle of my freaking show. How does that happen? Bro, don't do that. Don't do that. So anyway, so I'm sitting outside, and I'm kind of relieved because of my mom, and I'm kind of upset at the same point because I couldn't go with my little brother, and my little brother went to Reno, and my whole family's destroyed. I have 1 fucking bag of stuff. I don't even know what's gonna happen to our house, our pictures. My mom's in jail. You know what I mean? But all I know is that I'm gonna go to school the next day, and I'm living down the street from my rival. You know what I mean? Yeah, great, super. So I have to go to school. Obviously, I have to go to school the next day, and I am wearing whatever they gave me, a fucking pair of overalls, rickety-ass tennis shoes, and fucking this stupid-ass white shirt. I just remember it was fucking horrible. I have no nothing, no makeup, no nothing, you know what I mean? So I spent a few weeks in this foster home. The foster home that they put me in, okay, you're thankful for where you got, but let me tell you, the lady was a fucking weirdo, okay? There's some weird-ass shit that went on there. She had like 4 kids in the same room. It was just, the shit that went on was fucking, that was horrible. So I was going through a horrible time with that lady because that lady thought that she was my best friend. She did. And she would be drinking with us. She'd be like 4-wheeling. She'd be like taking people out. She was like 53 years old, 55 or some shit like that. And she had these like, her son was like 22 at the time, and he had these other friends. And so she'd be like out partying with them and taking me with her and shit. So I went from one fucked up family to another fucked up family. You know what I mean? But in my mind, that shit was okay. That shit was rad because that shit was cool because I didn't have to deal with my mom being drunk and fucking ripping our house apart and throwing up all over everything and fucking beating the shit out of us. So I didn't have to deal with that. I got to deal with a drunk lady with younger guys. So I guess that was okay. It wasn't okay. So I was going through it, and there got to a point where she did some inappropriate shit in front of me, and I had to tell the DCFS office, and they were going to transfer me. So let me tell you what happened. So I'm fucking upset because now they're going to transfer me out of this town into another foster home. I can't even go with my grandparents now, okay? And now I have to fucking, not only do I have to tell DCFS what this lady did in front of me, which is pretty fucked up, but now I have to move all my shit, and now I'm back to the same thing of going to high school in another fucking town. It's fucking stupid, you know what I mean? So, I'm sitting on the curb one day, not on the curb, I'm sitting on the front porch, and I'm just like, I'm dreading what is about to happen. You know what I mean? The next day, they're gonna call me in, they're gonna call her in, they're gonna call her out in front of me. You know what I mean? I know what the fuck's gonna happen the next day after, I talk to CPS and shit like that. And I'm dreading it. And all of a sudden, I look up, and here comes fucking Autumn walking down the goddamn sidewalk. My rival. And I'm like, what does this bitch want now? You know what I mean? I'm having the worst fucking time of my life. I am like, what does this bitch want now? And so she comes up, and let me, mind you, me and Autumn have never had a conversation outside of this, okay? We've never had a fucking one-on-one. Nope. Nothing. We fucking hated each other. Hated her, she hated me, and I was just thinking to myself, like, fuck, now she wants to come up here, and now we're gonna have to fight, and all this other shit, and that's what I'm just gearing up for, you know what I mean? Fuck it, let's do this. And she comes up, she said, hey, I want to talk to you, and I said, alright. So I walked down to the curb, she sits on the curb, she said, sit down, so I sat down next to her. She said, I hear you're going through a really rough time here. And I kind of looked at her like, what the fuck? And she said, you know what? She said, I want to help you. My family wants to help you. And I don't want to cry right now because I have a lot of makeup on. But she says, I know what you're going through. I heard about it at school. And she said, my family is going to become foster parents for you. Seriously. And I just looked at her like, you're fucking with me, right? So she's like, no, I'm not fucking with you. She's like, I'm dead serious. My mom already went down to DCFS and applied to be a foster parent so that we could take you because we have an extra room. It's really fucking cool, you know? I've never had anybody that actually wanted me at that point. Like that, you know? And I said, okay. I said, are you serious? She said, yeah, I'm dead serious. And of course we fucking she's like, fuck all the other shit. And I told her what I was going through, and then I had to go talk to her mom. She said, we're going to go talk to my mom. So right then we walked down to her mom's house. And we talked to her mom and dad, and I told them everything that was going on. And her parents became foster parents to take me. So they got their room together. They got a bed and this and that, and they went down to, it took them 30 days to get the foster parenting license. And then I went and lived with them. This girl that fucking hated me my whole entire life, her and her family, they fucking saved me. You know what I mean? I've been saved a couple times. Only when I really need it though, you know what I mean? And it's fucking amazing. And it's funny because, I had never at that point, I had never had anything new my whole entire life. I had new stuff, my grandparents would buy me stuff, and every once in a while, Christmas or something would roll around, and my mom would hit a jackpot or something, and so we'd have new stuff for a few days until my mom fucking destroyed it all and ruined it, or broke it all, or whatever drunk fits. But my grandparents, my grandmother would buy me school clothes every year. Once a year, they would buy me, I'd get LA Gears. If anybody remembers LA Gear, but let me tell you, that was a big deal to me, you know what I mean? Because they were $60 sneakers. But, it's funny because, so I moved into this house, right, with her family, and the crazy part is, these people are Jehovah's Witness, okay? They don't celebrate birthdays, Christmas, nothing, okay? They don't believe in astrology. They don't believe in none of that shit, okay? So not only do I have to go into another household, which is amazing, and it's all normal, and her mom makes dinner and shit, which I'm like, what? Dinner? The fuck? Who makes dinner anymore? I never had dinner. My mom only made dinner a couple times a month, and it was like a big deal, you know what I mean? It was like a Thanksgiving when she got her food stamps. So she sits down. She said, Phallon, I need to show you something. And I come to the kitchen table, and she said, I need you to look through this catalog, and I need you to pick out a bed set. And I'll never forget it, because I had no idea what the fuck she was talking about. So she hands me the JCPenney catalog. If everybody remembers that. I don't know how old y'all are, but JCPenney used to be the big shit, okay? It used to be this catalog, this like huge thick-ass catalog, and it would have all of their items in there and things that you could order, okay? And if you had a JCPenney catalog back in the day, you were fucking rich, okay? Your parents were rich, you were rich. If you could order out of the JCPenney catalog, you were fucking rich. I don't care. To me, you're rich. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny to say? Nowadays, it's like being rich is something else. But, it's pretty funny to me that nowadays it's different. But, so she hands me the JCPenney catalog, and she said, I want you to pick out a bed set. And I had no idea how to even do that. That's how fucking poor we were. That's how poor I was. That's how much we went through in our lives, that I had no idea how to pick something out of a catalog in high school. That should happen. And so I just sat there and I just cried, because for one, I had no clue what I was doing. For two, nobody had ever bought me a fucking brand new bed set. I never had one. All my shit was mismatched. Fucking old sheets. You know what I mean? Like, I think one time I had a New Kids on the Block bed set when I was like 8 years old, you know what I mean? But that was like for Christmas, and my grandmother bought it, and it was like a big deal, you know what I mean? It's pretty funny. But that's true. So like Autumn's family, like that's the first thing they did, was they like bought me the first bed set that I ever had in my whole life, and I was 14 years old, 15 years old. It's crazy, right? Sometimes you have like a fucking silver lining. You know, that kind of stood out to me, because I know that, like, I mean, you go through a lot, you know what I mean? Especially like if you're going into foster care and you've been in foster care and you've had some fucked up scenarios, because you know, if you're in foster care, like they try to make it sound like it's like, they try to make it sound like it's like this whole like great thing, like you get a family and like they have this whole beautiful house and a yard and a dog and a picket fence, you know what I mean? And your shit's gonna be way better, and your life's gonna be way better than what it was, you know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not. They got a lot of people. They got a lot of kids. They're doing it for fucking money, because these people get like $2,000 or $3,000 a month free, or $12.50 or something. I think it's like $12.50 depending on how old you are. And a lot of people do it just for the money, to supplement their income, especially in California. You know what I mean? You can't afford to live by yourself, and if you do, like me, it's because you have people around you that fucking helped you. You know what I mean? My landlord, Carol, helped me. You know, and that's the reason why I can afford to live here by myself. Not because I make money. You know what I mean? I make shit. I make jack shit. My boss fucking owes me. And I hope he's watching, because he fucking pays me shit. Makes me mad. I don't know. I just think that, like, I posted that shit about the foster care thing because it's true. It is a true fact. It's true that kids, they have to transport their stuff in bags. It's true that they don't have suitcases. It is true that when you're a foster kid, you only get to take one bag with you. And if you are, you don't have any of your shit. And if your parents, if you're lucky enough, if those parents, they went to jail or something, they lost all their shit, then you lost all your shit too. So, I mean, think about that, like, when you guys are donating to, like, Goodwill and shit, you know what I mean? You just go and drop that shit off. You're like, oh, my kids outgrew, I'm gonna go throw it on the Goodwill. You know what I mean? Maybe think about, like, calling the DCFS office and asking them if they need clothes that are fucking used. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just dropping that shit off to Goodwill where people are getting money and paying for that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I would appreciate it, just know, because at that moment in time, if I would have had just a little bit more, like if somebody could have dropped me off a bag of pants, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have had to fucking deal with the embarrassment in high school for fucking the 2 weeks of wearing the same fucking overalls and not having that memory in my head now. You know what I mean? Like, you can make a difference in people. You can make a difference in kids' lives by doing shit like that. And that's why I posted that shit, was because it is a true story and it is a true fact. And I would appreciate it as just being a human being, that you guys would stop dropping shit off at Goodwill and start calling your local DCFS office and asking if they need new toys, if they need fucking clothes and shit. Because I know that when I got my kids taken away, they didn't have shit. And I didn't have shit at that time either, because here I am fucking panhandling a little bit in my car. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys have seen my other fucking video. You know what I mean? Because that's what happened. I wasn't able to give them anything. I wasn't able to give them fucking stuff. And the first paycheck that I did get, you know what I mean, definitely 100% went straight to them. And that's what I did, is I bought them clothes. But I found out that they didn't have anything either. So DCFS took my kids, put them in a fucking foster home, and they were wearing whatever the fuck the foster lady had. You know what I mean? That's not right. Half the time, those foster parents, my kids were in a fucking foster home with 12 other kids. 12. So you know they had rugged ass clothes. I get them dirty as hell. You know what I mean? Their shoes be all ripped up and shit, because they'd be wearing somebody else's shoes, and I couldn't afford to do it. You know what I mean? I couldn't afford to help a family. So if you know a fucking family that needs something like that, you know what I mean? Take your shit to a fucking local DCFS office. Like, no joke. You know, stop giving that shit to Goodwill. That's my story of the day, guys. So what did we learn today? We learned about DCFS. We learned about I had been in foster care. Learned that it was a really horrible experience that turned into a really good experience, because I ended up living with those people all through high school. So I lived with them for 4 years, and when I turned 18, I moved out. But I did stay with them the whole time, and they kept me the whole time, and they kept me fed, and they kept me housed, and they kept me in a well taken care of place. And I had a foster sister, which I never had a sister, and it was good. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for that. I really am. All right, guys, I'm going to a job site. I'll send you guys some photos. That's it. So I would appreciate it if you guys could share my story. Maybe it'll help somebody else somewhere. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, is I'm kind of building up to that. Is like, you know what I mean? This is life. But you guys can do something about it. You guys can help me out. You can help a kid out. So share the story. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Have a fucking fabulous day. Bye.